Before starting today's video, I just wanted to say that the support from a lot of you guys in the last few days were insane, and all I can say is thank you so much. And the last videos to giveaway winners will be announced in the next video to show my appreciation towards you guys. And don't worry, there will be more in the future. I wish you all could win, but I'm just not Mr. Beast unfortunately and have a limited budget. And so I hope I can make useful videos for you guys in the future, whether it's future updates, guides, and comparisons. There will be a variety of Genshin Impact content on this channel. I hope it helps some people in any sort of way, and without wasting your time, let's start today's video. In today's video, I'll give you guys a quick and easy to follow free-to-play guide for Wriothesley and how he can make most of his kit without receiving too much information that you probably don't need. Now, Wriothesley is the newest 5-star Cryo Catalyst character, or should I say the first ever playable Cryo Catalyst character in Genshin Impact, because I saw somewhere that some people are saying that the first one is Charlotte because we saw her first, but it doesn't make sense to me because playable characters should be counted as first, but I digress. As always, I like to start off with brief pros and cons of every character, so let's talk about it. For his pros, constant cryo application, which can be really useful in freeze comps since he's a catalyst user that in this case punches enemies to death with cryo damage. He also has fairly high damage scaling and potential for melt comps and capable of self-healing like the other Fontanian characters, even though they're the ones dealing most of the damage to themselves due to their kit. And the fun pro of his that he is the new unbeatable rival for Kaya when it comes to ice bridging, especially when he's low HP, and he is in his red aura mode, which is only a fun pro, so don't take it too seriously and not related to his damage because not everything is about damage. Disclaimer, Kaya is a free character, so he is still pretty good for ice bridging, especially for new players. Moving on to cons. Normal attacks AoE is not good and mostly great against a single opponent, like a boss for example, and his only source of real AoE is his burst, but even that isn't a really good AoE option and it only does AoE damage in front of him, and I hate to say it, but he's reliant on constellations, especially at Constellation 1, since without his C1, his special charge attack and self-healing has a 5-second cooldown and cannot be activated effectively, and with healers it's not gonna work out, which means requiring him to have a shielder instead when he's C0, because if you bring a healer, his special charge attack doesn't work as often, but without protecting him, he is susceptible to getting killed in combat, so he can change his playstyle in a major way. Moving on to talking about his free-to-play weapon. And I know technically a weapon like Wriothesley isn't a free-to-play option, and in fact as a free-to-play player myself, I still don't have one on my main account, but if you do, Wriothesley is a great weapon because every effect of Wriothesley is usable for Wriothesley, and crit damage substat is also great for boosting damage since crit rate will be covered with cryo resonance and using the right artifact set that I'll talk about in the later sections of the video. But for a true free to play option, Ballad of Boundless Blue, that is a free option that you can obtain and R5 this weapon from the current event that is live right now, and it's a good choice for him since it increases normal and charge attack damage, which is the main source of his damage, and energy recharge is always good for a better uptime on his burst, although he doesn't need that much energy, but it wouldn't hurt him. But if you're watching this video later on or simply want something different, you can also use Flowing Purity, which is a craftable weapon that is obtained from Fontaine, and you can buy this blueprint from Stell, and this weapon will provide attack percent, and the effect of this weapon will help Wriothesley deal more damage from his elemental skill, which will enhance his normal attacks in return, and that's the main way of playing him. Not only that, but it will also grant 24% of his max HP back, and this effect can be triggered once every 10 seconds when the Bond of Life effect is cleared. Every 1000 HP cleared in the process will provide 2% of all elemental damage bonus with a maximum of 12% increase, and it lasts for 15 seconds. Let's talk about his artifact sets. I would personally suggest two sets. One is 4-piece Marichuse Hunter set, and the second one is Blizzard set. Now, Marichuse Hunter set is the most flexible one for him. It's like it was pretty much tailor-made for him because it can be used in different team comps and it gives up to 36% crit rate to Wriothesley and works really well with his kit. And Blizzard's Raya set is really good for freeze comps if you don't consider his HP mechanic and purely wanting him to maximize his cryo damage potential, but it will not be as flexible as the other set for him to be used in different team comps. Now for the stats of the artifacts, Sand should contain attack percentage, Goblet with cryo damage bonus, and Circlet with crit damage. And for stat distribution of each piece, you should look for crit damage, crit rate, elemental mastery, attack percentage, and lastly energy recharge if you don't use him with Ballad of Boundless Blue and needed more energy recharge. Now for upgrading his talents, the priority should be normal attack first, elemental skill second, and lastly elemental burst. Since his main source of damage is with combination of his skill and normal attack, so it's important to keep that in mind when leveling his talents, especially if you don't have enough talent books pre-farmed for him. With that said, his elemental burst is still valuable, don't get me wrong, and its damage output is fairly high, and it shouldn't be overlooked, but it's just not as important as the other two. There are quite a few teams that he will shine in, but I'll only mention 3 of them for the video to be quick and not too long. First one is a Mel team, consisting of Wriothesley, Xiangling, Kazuha, or Sucrose if you don't have him, although Kazuha is preferred for his team, but she will do just fine. And lastly, Bennett. Your best way of using Wriothesley in any team is to use skills and off-field abilities like Xiangling and Bennett's Burst, and animal units for gathering them up for crowd control like Kazuha and Sucrose, and use Wriothesley's skill and use normal attack until you see him in his red aura. Then you want to use your special charge attack to heal and deal extra damage. Then use normal attacks until your support characters no longer have their off-field abilities. Then repeat the whole process. Now the second team that I will suggest that he will shine in would be a freeze team, for example, pairing him up with Xingqiu, Rosaria, and Zhongli, or Yelan, Shenhe, and maybe Mika to increase Wriothesley's attack speed, although I'd say Diona is a better option than Mika for his team for overall value of her shield and healing that he will definitely need. And lastly, you can use him in the weirdly named Hyper Freeze teams, if that's the right term, which essentially means pairing a cryo unit with Bloom or Hyper Bloom teams to add more reactions like Superconduct and Frozen to those teams. For example, addition of Wriothesley in a team of Nahida or Kali/Dendro Traveler, and then Fischl or Kokishinobu, and Xingqiu or Yelan, depending on which character you own, and you can bring a given additional option for you guys to replace each one. But surely there are more ways to build and have teams around Wriothesley, but these were the top 3 in my mind, at least for now. So with this quick guide, I hope this video helped you guys to use and build your Wriothesley quickly, and I didn't want to talk about him in depth because I wanted it to be shorter and quicker to understand. So if you found it helpful, I appreciate it if you press the subscribe button and comment down below if you have any suggestions, and I will definitely read every single comment. Also, if you disagree with my video, let me know how you would build him, and it's really interesting to me. Now have a good day or night, and peace.